Hi friends, welcome back. This is Kunal Bothra. Yet again, we've brought a brilliant video observation for all of you guys. And again, today is not about observation. So over the last couple of weeks, we've tried to decipher, time the market precisely, come back towards a point where we've timed the Nifty almost at the exact bottom. Banknifty specifically at the day on 22nd of February when we made when we were at the heat of panic or sharp correction on the indices. So that's where we came out with a bold, courageous, gutsy contra call on the indices and also on the Nifty as well. So we made a presentation. I did a Facebook live as well on the same day explaining that why darna mana hai and the index, and this is not the time to try and dish out your positions or square off your positions. Then we played out a very, very interesting observation of what happens when there is 3 successive consecutive months of negative closing on the Nifty, and what pans out when there is a fourth month, which is a rally, or in case if there is a fourth month where the market goes into a correction. So we are already running into the fourth month. Touch wood, so far the markets have done exceptionally well. And not talking of it from the Nifty or the Bank Nifty percentage point of view, of course, that matters quite a lot. But what is very important is the recovery which we see in the market breadth. So हमारे portfolios generally जब ज़्यादा smile करते हैं when the market smiles and when the stock specific rally starts off. And we've seen a flurry of stocks, sectors, smaller sectors, medium sectors, larger sectors. Even these stocks and sectors have started to participate in the last one to 1.5 odd week. So let's hope that the market continues this journey northwards. But today's webinar or today's presentation is not on the data of the market, not on the observation of what the market is, but for an options trader perspective. Now, if you're an options trader, if you track the movement of indices, Nifty, Bank Nifty, then how do you decipher that which is the stronger hand? Generally क्या होता है, जैसे कि आज का दिन was a classical day. Today, 8th of March 2023 was one of the classical days for the markets. Why? I'll give you a very short explanation. So the handover from the global cues was extremely negative, correct? The Bank Nifty, which closed on Monday, which is one day prior to Holi, on a very strong footing. So there was a lot of hope, expectations that the Bank Nifty should do pretty well. But we started off on a bit of a back note. So I think we scaled down some 150, 200 plus points on the Bank Nifty in the first few minutes of trading, 15-20 minutes of trading. But उसके बाद जो हुआ, हमने देखा कि after the first 15-20 minutes of the Bank Nifty making a low, there was an initial comeback from the Bank Nifty. Then it remained stagnant, and slowly and steadily the Bank Nifty moved up higher. So from 41,200, 41,100, which was the intraday low approximately for Bank Nifty, we moved on to 41,200, 300, 400, 500, 600 भी cross किया हमने intraday basis पर. But generally, when the market moves in such kind of fashion, how do you decipher that given the kind of global handover, the negative news, क्या ये intraday rally टिक सकता है? I mean, will the intraday bounce sustain for the indices? How do you actually decipher that? So today's webinar is exactly on that particular point, that which sides the markets are tilting towards, which sides an intraday options trader, or even a market watcher, forget about options trading, even as an intraday market watcher, आपको अगर देखना है कि which side the markets are tilting towards, what is the best option study to do it, what is the best parameter to use it. So today we'll be tracking exactly the same. I've used one of the paid softwares which I use it for my normal course, but again, it's not an advertisement. It's by no means to encourage that you buy the software. That is completely at your discretion. My point is just to give you one feature, one study of that software which has worked extremely well, and the observations are something which are very striking. Now, those observations can be deciphered. आप उसको अगर एक छोटा सा एक प्रोग्राम लिख लो तो शायद आप उसको ट्रैक भी कर सकते हो रेगुलर बेसिस पे, बट सिंस वी आर लेजी गाइज एंड it's very easy to find that rather numbers, the lines and the movement of those lines, it becomes very easy for me. So we've done it using the software. I'll give you a glimpse of the software of how you can use this particular study for your benefit, so that you can try and decipher that stronger hands कहाँ पे है, ऑप्शन की मूवमेंट कैसे रीड करनी होती है, और सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट जो पॉइंट होती है ऑफ ऑल ऑफ द स्टडी is that how do you decipher whether the index is shifting base or whether the resistances are scaling lower. So ये सबसे important points है जिसको हम actually live में break down करेंगे. So again, it's not a live market analysis, but I'll give you a snapshot right from the start of today 9:15 AM से जब से market खुला कि किस on based on what study did the data change, and on the change of the data, what was the stance of the option players in the market. Specifically, this is for Banknifty. Again, you can use it for all segments, you can use it for all asset classes, but basically I stick it only to the Nifty and Banknifty because it's worked out really well for me apparently in that sense. So here it is, guys. Okay, so this is the feature which I'm talking about. Now don't get confused with too many lines over here. The number of lines which may seem to be a bit more, but then the observation behind each of these lines is very, very important. Now, just as a basic introduction, this feature, this software is Spider software, and this is a comparative OI chart. Now, open interest is a chart, is a data which I'm sure that most of you guys do track it very, very regularly. But the representation over here is the key. जो यहाँ जिस तरह से represent किया गया है ना, वो सबसे standout feature है इस पूरे study का. So this is the start of the day, which is 9:15. As you can see, this dark black line. So you can just follow my arrow over here. This dark black line, 9:15 AM, is where the day starts, and it pans up till 3:30 PM, where the day ends, and that's where you see the cumulative change in the the change in the open interest data on each strike. So what I've done is very simple. I've looked at the ATM strikes, or maybe 1% plus or minus the ATM movement of the Banknifty, and we have looked at the data and then tried to decipher which is the moving trend. Now, for example, at 9:15 AM in the morning, so as you can see, this white line 9:15 को, ये जो white line थी, ये जो yellowish line थी, ये सबसे dominant line थी. Now, what is this yellow line? As you can see over here, this is 41,500 call of weekly options, of course, because it's a Wednesday, Thursday, so weekly options matter quite a lot. 9:18, which is after first 3 minutes. So every 3 minutes, the data from the exchange, gets loaded on the NSE website, and so the refresh is every 3 minutes, mota on the software as well. So as you can see, 41,500 call has the highest amount of addition of open interest. So आप देख रहे हो कि काफी सारे lots open हो गए. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे देख रहे होगे तो 1,52,901. These are the incremental lots which are open in the Banknifty at this strike. So यहाँ पे 41,500 call writer, तो generally हम options को देखते हैं हमेशा writing point of view से. तो यहाँ पे 41,500 की call में major writing होना चालू हो रही है. तो यहाँ पे indicate करता है कि Banknifty should be under pressure. So 9:18, 9:21, 24. So as you can see it from here till here, which is till 9:33, the options data indicates that 41,500 की call में बहुत writing हो रही है. So when 41,500 की call में writing हो रही है, which means that the markets should be under pressure and the Banknifty may not scale above 41,500 mark. Okay. Now this is till 9:33. Let's look at the charts over here for the Nifty Bank. So as you can see that this is the chart for the Nifty Bank. This is the chart for the Nifty Bank. Okay. This is 9:15 in the morning. This is till 9:18, 9:33. Yeah, this is the 9:33 candle. तो यहाँ तक आप देख रहे हो कि on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles, the first 6 candles, this is a 3-minute candle. First 5 to 6 candle, the markets or the Banknifty remains under pressure, and 41,500 mark, which is at this point, 41,500 zone, ये एक major resistance बन गया है. ठीक है, because option writers यहाँ पे 9:33 तक बेचते जा रहे हैं call option, ये सोच के कि शायद Banknifty will remain under 41,500 mark. But as you see, 9:33 को there is something which changes in the data, that this red line. So this red line starts to spring up from 9:33. 9:36 को ये red line ने cross कर दिया इस yellowish line को. What is this red line? This red line is nothing else than 41,200 put. मतलब from 9:33 to 9:36 onwards, the put writers started to get confident that the Bank Nifty will not break below 41,200 mark. This is the point of turnaround for index. So when you see in the first half an hour or so, the data, the options, the open interest data starts to shoot up for 41,200 put. मतलब यहाँ पे आपको अगर इंडिकेशन दे रहा हूं, so for example, look at this data over there. So it is from this point, which is 9:36 onwards, that even trading below that 41,200 mark, यहाँ पे आके हमको दिख रहा है कि 41,200 के ऑप्शन राइटर्स में मेजर पुट ऑप्शंस में राइटिंग हो रही है. मतलब आपका 41,200 का जो स्ट्राइक है वो होल्ड करेगा. दैट इज द व्यू फ्रॉम ऑप्शन राइटर्स एंड द पुट राइटर्स. Now look at the data from here. Now from 9:33, look at the data till say 10 o'clock, till 10:30. Okay, so this is 10:30 approximately till 11 o'clock, which is still here. अब देखो पूरा यहाँ से 9:36 के आसपास जब ये डेटा चेंज हुआ था से लेकर 11 बजे तक, what has changed? Nothing has changed. 41,200 puts still remain the dominant strike where there is a lot of writing on open interest data. Okay, now let's look at the observation from here, which is from 9:18. This strike from 41,200 levels approximately, this is the point. यहाँ पे जिस तरह जब 41,200 क्रॉस किया बैंक निफ्टी ने, so again we are not talking of price wise breakout, we are talking of an open interest wise breakout. When the open interest crossed about the day's high, at that point of time, we say that the market has tilted or changed its scale. So from being pessimistic, it's changed the scale to optimistic. और उसके बाद आप देख रहे हो 41,200 और 300 के बीच में मोटा मोटा यहाँ पे, so this 150 पॉइंट रेंज में इंडेक्स मूव कर रहा है. हम एक दो बार 41,200 के नीचे भी गए, यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं कि 41,200 के नीचे गए. हमने 30-40 पॉइंट्स के बफर के साथ में यहाँ पे टेस्ट किया ऑप्शन राइटर्स को, बट फॉर्चुनेटली वी कुड होल्ड अप द ग्राउंड. सो एज यू कैन सी ऑन दिस टाइम, दिस इज 10:30. अब देखते हैं 10:30 को क्या हुआ था. हाँ, दिस इज हियर. सो 10:30 को एक स्केयर मूवमेंट आया था, स्केयर. सो एज यू कैन सी दैट द option writers, both the call writers and put writers, were going into a tussle, were going into a fight that who is the stronger one. Or within a minute and two, it was deciphered. Within the next, rather two readings, it was deciphered that 41,200 is still the strongest strike and that should hold on. Which means that with a buffer of 40 points over here, the option writers could hold on to their position. और उसके बाद आप देखो, throughout the day, even after this one scare, throughout the day, the Bank Nifty did not go below 41,200 mark, because from 9:36, when the data tilted, from 9:33, 9:36, when the data tilted in favor, till this point, the data still indicated, which is till 2:33 p.m., that 41,200 का जो call है, वो उसपे major put है, उसपे major writing हो रही है. और यहाँ पे इंडिकेट कर रहा है कि बुल्स आर गेटिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर. द वन हु राइट्स पुट ऑप्शंस इज बेसिकली द वन हु इज नॉट बेरिश ऑन द मार्केट्स, एंड द गाइज हु आर नॉट बेरिश ऑन द मार्केट्स वुड प्रॉब्ली एक्सपेक्ट दैट द बैंक निफ्टी would not break below major support, and that's why you've seen the index bouncing off from 41,200 levels. There was a bit of a scare in between, as I said, at 10:30 AM के आसपास, जहां पे दोनों स्ट्राइक्स बहुत नजदीक आ गए थे एक दूसरे के टसल और क्रॉस होने के लिए. हो सकता था अगर ये शायद रेड लाइन क्रॉस कर जाती थी नीचे, और अगर ये येलोइश लाइन अगर वापस ऊपर स्केल करती थी, तो हो सकता था कि मार्केट कंप्लीटली फेवर टिल्ट कर देता था इन दी स्क्यू ऑफ ऑप्शन राइटर्स ऑन द कॉल साइड. हो सकता था यहां से शायद मार्केट डायरेक्शन डाउन भी कर लेता था, बट फॉर्चुनेटली दैट वाज सेव्ड, एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू सॉ द निफ्टी और द बैंक निफ्टी moving up steadily higher. Now, this is the first data point which indicates that 41,200 becomes a new base. तो अगर आप इंट्राडे ऑप्शंस प्लेयर हो या इफ यू आर एन ऑप्शंस राइटर, then this is the exact line, the dominant line which you should be tracking on an everyday basis. That which is the dominant line जहां पे consistently every 3 minutes में positions add होती जा रही है कि स्ट्राइक में. तो आप देख रहे हो कि यहाँ पे 41,500 के कॉल में राइटिंग हो रही थी, वो डोमिनेंट था. 936 को चेंज हो गया. 10:30 के आसपास एक टच एंड गो मूवमेंट आया, बट फॉर्चुनेटली द पुट राइटर्स कुड होल्ड देयर ग्राउंड. द बैंक निफ्टी डिड नॉट गो बिलो 41,200 or rather the put writers did not unwind their position over here. They still could manage to hold on. और जो एक कॉल राइटर से जो एक स्कैर आया था उसको एब्जॉर्ब करके they managed to move along. Now in this movement over here in this zone, as you can see this blue line which is emerging, अब ये blue line बहुत interestingly स्पीड पिकअप कर रही है, पेस पिकअप कर रही है. अगर आपको दिख रहा है ये मेजर जंप है. नाउ अगेन व्हाट इज दिस ब्लू लाइन? 41,300 पुट, which means that at around 11:30 11:40 the markets are now shifting in favor of writing of put options of 41,300 over here. So अगर आपको दिख रहा होगा 11:30 के आसपास, which is correct, which is approximately over here, the markets are now tilting in favor that 41,300 could now be a new base for the index, which is over here. Could be a new base, new pivot for the index. और यहाँ पे put writers जो है, मतलब आप समझो कि we are talking of at the money. We are talking of at the money strikes, put options being written over here. At the money strikes of put options being written over here. So we are at 41,300 and look at the aggression of the put writers at 41,300. Look at this pace of writing over here as compared to a pace which is dropped down. तो जो 41,200 के पुट राइटर्स थे वो बोल रहे थे यहां से चेंज करने का टाइम आ गया है. लेट्स जंप द स्ट्राइक, लेट्स ईट मोर प्रीमियम बिकॉज द बैंक निफ्टी में होल्ड 41,200 and would also hold this 41,300 which is now emerging as a new support for the index. As you can see that till this time, which is till 2 p.m. approximately or maybe 2:03 के आसपास को ये मेजर ब्रेकआउट हो गया, which means 41,000, the blue line crosses above the red line, which means that supports have shifted higher decisively, है ना. तो 2:03 को हम देखते हैं कि क्या हुआ. Now this is 2 p.m. and this is 2:03. This is 2:03. So यहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं जब निफ्टी ने 41,300 को स्केल किया, 41,400 को क्रॉस किया, तब निफ्टी ने अपना बेस स्ट्रॉन्ग कर दिया, which means if you are entering over here even at 2:03 p.m. just looking at the data, it tells you that the 41,300 puts are getting stronger than 41,500 call, and when that happens is where the bank nifty will change its supports on the higher side. तो देखो आप कंसिस्टेंटली देखो यहां से जो 41,300 की पुट में कंसिस्टेंट राइटिंग हो रही है एज कंपेयर टू 41,200 की पुट में जहां पे आई वुड से राइटिंग, अनवाइंडिंग ऑफ पोजीशंस, राइटिंग अगेन एंड देन अनवाइंडिंग ऑफ पोजीशंस. तो ये जो डेटा पॉइंट है ये इंडिकेट करता है कि 41,200 से स्केल डाउन होकर यहाँ पे 41,300 पे स्केल अप कर रहे पोजीशंस को पुट ऑप्शंस में. तो players are getting confident that the markets will hold on to 41,300, which will now become a renewed support for the index. Then comes this point again. So as you can see, 230 और 245 के आसपास में कुछ dramatic changes हो रहे हैं. So again the yellow line crosses over both the put options, which means 41,300 as well as 41,200. दोनों ही strikes को इसने क्रॉस कर दिया है पुट ऑप्शंस ने, कॉल ऑप्शंस ने दोनों ही स्ट्राइक्स को क्रॉस कर लिया. सो वी हैव क्रॉस्ड ओवर द 41,500 कॉल्स. ऑप्शन राइटर्स हैव क्रॉस्ड ओवर 41,200 as well as 41,300 strike, which is at 2:36 p.m. Now let us look at the data at 2:36. What changes? So it is at this point. So यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो 41,200. So this is almost at 2:33, 2:36. So at 2:36, which is at this point, 41,500 को स्केल करना विल बी वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो आप देख रहे हो यहाँ पे, सो बैंक निफ्टी comes to 41,500. The put writers take a nose dive, the call writers take a jump, and that's where you see the bank nifty correcting back 100 points. अब आपको दिख रहा है यहाँ पे. Now at 3:03 p.m. the bank nifty crosses that 41,500 mark. So what happens at 3:03 p.m. which is at this point? Okay, 41,500 को क्रॉस करता है, but the bank nifty moves up higher, which means that even at the point where there is unwinding of positions on all of those strikes, all of the three strikes जो हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे, these three major strikes, बैंक निफ्टी ऊपर चढ़ते जा रहा है. But if you see in this time zone, do you see this pinkish line? अब यहां पे क्या हो रहा है? यहां पे एक ड्रामेटिक चेंज हो रहा है. So 41,500 कॉल यहां तक डोमिनेंट ऑप्शन राइटर था, बट यहां पे पिंक लाइन जो है, जो 41,500 की पुट ऑप्शंस है, ये अब स्ट्रॉन्ग पेस पिकअप कर रहा है. सो 41,200 का जो बेस था, हमने सुबह को जब देखा 41,200 का बेस था, 41,300 का बेस आया, उसके बाद में 3:03 के आसपास में मार्केट ने एक मेजर जंप किया एंड द बेस वाज शिफ्टेड टू 41,500 which became a new base. So this is where option writers, और आप देखो लास्ट में क्या हो रहा है till 3:25. So 41,500 puts becomes the highest strike of open interest at the end. Means, so today the bank nifty has closed above the 41,500 mark. Okay, the bank nifty is closed above the 41,500 mark. At the end of the data, or at the end of the day, there was unwinding of positions on all major strikes except for this pink one, which is 41,500 puts. बाकी सारी स्ट्राइक्स, ये देखो 41,400 के कॉल में अनवाइंडिंग हुई है, 41,300 के कॉल में अनवाइंडिंग हुई है, 41,200 के कॉल में अनवाइंडिंग हुई है, 41,500 के कॉल में अनवाइंडिंग हुई है. ये चार मेजर स्ट्राइक्स में अनवाइंडिंग हो गई है. 41,300 की पुट पे अनवाइंडिंग हो गई, 41,200 की पुट में अनवाइंडिंग हो गई है. बट यहां पे क्या इमर्ज होकर आ रहा है? 41,500 एक नया सपोर्ट इमर्ज होकर आ रहा है, विच मीन्स टुमारो, विच इज द वीकली एक्सपायरी, दैट्स थर्सडे 9th of March 2023, it's the weekly expiry day for the Bank Nifty options. If this pink line, which of course would change color tomorrow morning, but if this pink line, which is 41,500 strike on the put options, if it starts to become dominant tomorrow morning, that means that the Bank Nifty has found a new support at the 41,500 mark. This is a classical way, most simplistic way, जहां से आप every day, every hour, every 3 minutes, you can just update the data and you can track which side of the markets you want to tilt towards. यहाँ पे contra जाने का कोई the view is not to go contra over here. The view is to go with the flow, with the trend, and with the stronger hand. Okay, so this is the data which tells us how the markets get bifurcated into different time zones, which is the options or the open interest parameter which is more stronger, more prominent, किस साइड कब मार्केट में ब्रेकआउट आता है, कब मार्केट में ब्रेक डाउन आता है, कौन सा स्ट्राइक सडनली यहां से prominent या dominant हो जाता है. As you can see over here at around 11:30 there was a dominant change of strike. At around 3 p.m. there was a dominant change of support for the put options on the Bank Nifty, and all of that had a significant role to be played on the index. We also learned one very important thing, which I don't know whether you observed or not, that when the data becomes very, very tight, your buffer, your margin has to be just about some 40 to 50 odd points for each strike which you look out for. So for example, 41,200 के आसपास जब बैंक निफ्टी था, तो हमने देखा यहाँ पे 41,266 और 260 का लो था, which means 40 to 45 point at max. A 50-point buffer is all what you need to keep when there is a tussle between two strikes. On the other hand, when the Nifty scaled up, or rather when the Bank Nifty scaled up above the 41,300 mark, you see these are the multiple attempts. तो ये जो लो है 350 का लो है, ये वाला जो लो है अगेन 346 का लो है. This was a low, rather 277 is the low, 273 is the low. So we are talking of 41,300, 41,273 as a low, 277 as a low, 270 rather 281 as a low, 278 as a low. मतलब यहाँ पे 30 पॉइंट्स का बफर भी काम आ गया. So if you are looking at any options data, if the options data changes its behavior or is on the verge of changing, you just need to keep a buffer of 50 points. 50 points on the strike. So plus or minus 50 points अगर आप ऐड कर दोगे, उतना बफर आप मेंटेन करोगे तो बहुत ज्यादा बेनिफिशियल होगा. So you don't need to keep a high buffer as well when you're trying to trade on the option side. And the best part is at the end हमें पता चलता है कि किस साइड पे मार्केट्स ने टिल्ट किया है and which has ended or emerged as a dominant strike where players are confident writing positions. So I hope this observation has helped you guys. Again, this is not an indication of that you try and take service or this paid software, but this is a study for the software which has helped me really well in trying to understand, trying to decipher the intraday trends. तो जब हमारा इंट्राडे जो हम व्यू देते हैं स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक या इंडेक्स स्पेसिफिक, which sides the markets are tilting favor towards, what becomes the new support for the index, how do option writers they change their stance, the dynamic writing of options, all of that can be deciphered using this one simple and single chart which is available to you right in front of you. So again, as I said, don't get complicated by the number of lines. You can just reduce the number of parameters which you want to track. So as you can see, I can reduce the number of parameters, the lines which I want to track, but मुझे वहां पे full picture नहीं मिलेगा. मुझे हमेशा real picture, full picture चाहिए. So because of that, I will have to look out for at least 4 or 5 strikes plus or minus the existing price for the Banknifty. The same data holds very well for the Nifty as well on an intraday basis. So I hope you've enjoyed the observation and taking cognizance of how beautiful the software as well as the study is and how simple we can decipher the intraday trends on the Banknifty, on the indices using just plain simple open interest. Okay, thank you so much guys. Hope you like the video. Please do subscribe to our channel and don't forget to leave this video with a beautiful comment from your side if in case you like the video, as well as don't forget to share the video as well as pass it on to as many viewers as possible, especially those guys who are learning, who are trying to achieve mastery in options trading, whether it's options buying or options writing. Thank you so much guys.